This semester, we're in a special position. I believe this semester, you students here are better equipped to understand what Norma Desmond is going through than any students I've had before. I honestly, I feel like because of the events of the last couple of months, I am better able to understand Norma Desmond. Why? Because Norma Desmond used to be a silent film star. And then the technology changed, and she wasn't happy with talking pictures. She felt like they were better when they were silent, even though everybody around her decided talking pictures were better. I feel like Norma Desmond right fucking now. Because I used to do this old fashioned thing, which was go to a school and teach people who were in front of me. And now, through technological advances, I'm at home talking into a fucking iPhone because of the pandemic and teaching online. And a lot of the people in the English department, a lot of people at BMCC, and a lot of like the bosses, the deans, and the presidents, they like it like this. They think it's a good thing that we are teaching online. Because think about it, it's cheap for them. They don't have to pay to have the building cleaned. They don't have to pay for a building at all. They're excited about a lot of people in academia are excited about it. Some of my other professors are excited because it means they don't have to commute into school. Some of the professors I know like it because they no longer have to talk to students face to face because they didn't like the students to fucking start with. Why did you get this job? Um, and the administrators like it because it's cheap. They don't have to pay for a building. These guys, and they're thinking to themselves, well, wait a minute. What if all school was online all the time? Then we wouldn't have to pay these crazy property, the taxes and the rent to own property, or they wouldn't have to pay for the building if everybody learned online. Also, if BMCC cares about making money, well, learning online is great for making money because our students don't have to come from New York. We can educate people all over the world they can sign into Jeff Klock's class from Zurich. I feel like Norma Desmond because I feel like a lot of people around me love teaching online because they think it's easier and they can reach and the administrators love it because they can reach more students and the teachers love it because they don't have to commute into school and they can work in their pajamas and whatever. And I liked to go to school and wear cool clothes and interact with actual human beings. And I think this technology has fucked up school. I think you should all fucking sue for you paid tuition and then they gave you something that you didn't ask for. That's you can't. I don't know. Anyway, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I'm tenured full. I can say that shit. So the point is that I feel like Norma Desmond. Um, because the technology advanced, it changed, and left her behind. And I also feel left behind. And maybe many of you guys also feel left behind. Maybe you miss being in a real classroom. So that's Norma Desmond's story, and I think this is a special semester to be teaching her. Okay, so let's move forward with the movie because I know I stopped for a long time there, but it's really important that you understand that part of Norma Desmond's life. So there's a couple of quick jokes that I like too. He mentions that he wrote a movie about Okies in the Dust Bowl, meaning like poor people in the Midwest trying to survive. And he said by the time the script was finished, they changed it to a torpedo boat. The joke being that the studio made so many changes that it was completely. He gave them a script and they said they made a movie out of it, but they changed it so much it wasn't even the same movie anymore. There's also one of my favorite jokes in the movie is when he wakes up in his little, because she moves him to her place. And when he wakes up, he's creeped out because all of his possessions have somehow been moved into his room. And you hear this creepy music. And as he runs downstairs, it turns out that the creepy music is not non-diegetic music for me. It's actually Max at the organ playing the song. The characters can hear that. And when you first hear the music, you think it's just supposed to capture that he's creeped out by seeing his stuff there. But then it turns out he can actually hear the music, which I think is a really good joke. I skipped ahead a little bit to tell you that. Okay, so Joe Gillis he gets this idea that Norma Desmond, this crazy old lady, although she's not that old, she's 50, she's like 9 years older than I am. But Hollywood likes younger women, and so she's too old for Hollywood. She's working on this crazy script. An important detail about that script is the story of Salome, which is a story from the Bible, about a beautiful young woman, and of course Norma Desmond wants to play the beautiful young woman, about a beautiful young woman who strips, takes her clothes off, for John the Baptist, and he rejects her, and she has him beheaded. And that is the story in the Bible. Um, the important thing about the story of Salome is that, please notice, that's the story of Sunset Boulevard, right? That, like, what happens? She loves Joe Gillis. Joe Gillis rejects her, and she kills him. What's the script she's working on about? It's about a woman who tries to seduce a guy, and he rejects her, and she kills him. So her script is, you talk about fate, right? The whole story of Sunset Boulevard is contained in the script that she is writing. So yeah, anyway, it's one of my favorite little details about the film. Um, okay, cool. She's burying a chimp at the beginning of the movie, which is such a crazy thing to do. She had a chimpanzee for a pet. And she's giving it like she wants to put him in a red coffin and give him this dramatic funeral. It's a great introduction because she's such a fucking weirdo. It's such a dramatic thing, and it's a baby coffin that they bring in for the chimp. It's just why she's such a crazy character, and they really give her a big, wild, crazy introduction to sort of establish her character, which is fucking rad. It's a great movie. And Joe Gillis, by the way, makes the joke, must be the grandson of King Kong. Why? Because King Kong is the kind of old movie that was more from her age, because King Kong is from the 30s. It's a movie from back when she was famous, and that's how she thinks about the world, is in terms of movies are better when they were older, like King Kong. Okay, cool. All right. I mentioned that Norma's older. And again, she's 9 years older than I am, but Hollywood likes younger women. Just for fun, I should, maybe I'll find something to put up for you, but to show you guys. But like, it's interesting, if you look at Hollywood movies, please notice how men can keep getting jobs in movies into their 50s and 60s, but women have a much harder time doing that. And that what you end up getting as the men get older is the gap. They always want younger, beautiful women in the movies, but the guys they keep using the guys. So what you end up with very quickly is like 50-year-old characters played by Tom Cruise or Robert Downey Jr. or Liam Neeson being married to much younger, hotter women. The love interests in these movies are often younger women because Hollywood treats the women like they're sort of disposable, but they want to keep the men as So it's an important thing to keep. The Hollywood's treatment of sort of older women is what Sunset Boulevard is about. So that's a really important thing to look at. But just notice how sexist it is that so many older men are paired with so many younger women in movies. One way to put that is the men keep aging, they get 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, but the women are always 25, 25, 25, 25, no matter how old the actor gets. Sunset Boulevard, the title of the movie, this is one of these literature points that someone's going to make fun of me for saying, but it's worth, Sunset Boulevard is an actual street in LA, and it's a real street. But it's worth pointing out that the word sunset is the end of things. Sunset, it's when the sun goes down. So the sunset of your life is when you are an older person. And the sunset is often a symbol for death and the end of things. And that's very much what this movie is about. It's about Norma Desmond's, she is in the sunset of her career, but she doesn't know it. And she wants to sort of come back in a grand finale, and she refuses to sort of give it up. Okay, cool. All right, this is going pretty good. Oh, another good piece of Joe Gillis dialogue that I like is he talks about, people used to swim in that pool 10,000 midnights ago. It's a cool way of putting it. It doesn't just mean a long time ago, 10,000 midnights ago. That's a great way to say that something's old. Joe Gillis is a good writer. It's little details like that that let us know what kind of person he is. But the funniest thing about that sequence with the monkey that I want to point out is she had a monkey as a pet, which is so ridiculous and crazy. Joe Gillis is the new pet. He's the new monkey. He even has a dream about being a monkey and someone's playing the organ and he's dancing for money because he's like a pet for entertainment purposes. The joke here is that he meets Norma Desmond the day she's burying her chimp. He's the new chimp, the new toy for her, the new pet. All right, I'll see you guys in the next video.